Hey gamers, and welcome back to the next level. We are going to be talking about all things Assassin's Creed Black Flag multiplayer. I am joined by two very special guests. I have Damien right here with us, who is the director on the multiplayer. And I have Etienne. I don't want to mess up your name. You got to say it in the French way.
Etienne.
Yeah, see, the international product manager for Assassin's multiplayer. So let's get it started. For somebody who is not familiar at all with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the multiplayer, just give us a quick rundown.
So the multiplayer of Assassin's Creed is quite different from any other experience you can find in other games. Basically, it's an asymmetrical game. So you have a target to hunt down and kill, but this means that you have also somebody on your back.
Awesome. Now, this isn't the first time that you've had multiplayer, right?
Yeah, we introduced the multiplayer, I think, 4 years ago, something like that. So it was with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And since then, we were really improving the formula everywhere, adding new content and new features and stuff like that.
I spent too much time on that. Brotherhood was killed me.
So let's break it down a little bit more. Tell me, I want to know everything about the multiplayer. So any aspects that you can give us?
I think we will see some screens of the previous game we've done, but basically, as I said before, we introduced the game with the Wanted mode, which is like a cat and mouse gameplay. It's something that the Ubisoft Fantasy Studio already did a bit with Spy vs. Mercs on Splinter Cell before. And this is something we wanted to do again on Assassin's Creed, but very differently. And that's why we have this whole idea of being pursued and hunting down a target. And since then, it's becoming really popular, and we're really adding new content, new modes, new social features, and basically a ton of things. And you can play thousands of hours on these games today.
Awesome. So Damien, tell us a little bit about the studios that are behind this.
There were a lot of them. Of course, ANSI is the lead studio, but we've been working with other Ubisoft studios for a while. We work with Shanghai, work with Bucharest, and of course also with Montreal. That's the lead studio on the game. So that's a lot of people putting efforts to put out the best multiplayer game we can do every year.
So I know in this one we're playing pirates. So arr.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that every event we go to. Arr, you know. What is it like to sit down and create a pirate type game?
It's awesome. It's a perfect setting for a video game. I think it really let us come up with colorful characters, badass characters, but it was also a very interesting historical period. Because we had a ton of people coming from all around the world. So it really let us create a varied cast of characters. And of course, we have also a ton of maps and exotic locations. I think we'll see some of them in a video right now. The maps we already revealed.
Let's see those maps. Damien, those maps look absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The art, every aspect. I know a lot of work goes into them. What is your favorite map?
I think for the moment it might be Saba Island. So it's the map also we're playing on for the tournament. I really like it because it's blending all of the things we tried before in previous games. So you have more natural part, a natural environment part, which is the luxurious jungle, and then you have the other part, which is more urban and like what we did before in previous games. So it's really blending all the experiences that we've done before. So I love this map, and it's the perfect pirate lair. So
Yeah.
we have a boat and everything, so it's a really cool
Get a little bit of
map.
both.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite map?
I kind of like Portobello. We've seen on the video as well. It's more indoor. It's like a derelict mansion turned to a pirate HQ. So there's a lot of action going on, a lot of drinking, of course, because talking about pirates. It's more stealthy. You can run around, hide behind the corners, surprise your targets. So I kind of like that one.
So I know the one thing that I love about having you guys here is you're gonna give me and everybody at home an exclusive today, correct?
Yeah.
What is this exclusive? Because I know people are waiting.
So we're revealing 2 new maps today, never seen before elsewhere, and we have also a video for that.
Oh, let's take a look at that. It's exclusive content to you guys. So let's take a look at that video and get that rolling. That's awesome. So no one has ever seen those, right?
No.
What are those 2 maps?
So the first one that you saw is called Prison, and it's more a claustrophobic map. So it's quite small. It's quite dark. It's a ground-based gameplay map, so you have less acrobatic opportunities into this map. And then the second map you saw is La Havana. La Havana is one of the key locations of the single player, and we wanted also to do a map around that. On the multiplayer part, and this one is really more the typical map that you can see in the multiplayer. So it's very urban. You have a ton of opportunities for acrobatic kills, for sneaking around behind walls and things like that. So it's a really cool map. I think Etienne quite like it.
La Havana looks amazing. It's very colorful, very exotic. I mean, it's one of the key locations you think about when you think about the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why we wanted to take people there. And that's what we did for the other maps of the multiplayer. We really wanted to take people, much like in Assassin's Creed Solo, on a journey throughout the Caribbean, and I believe these maps do an amazing job at that.
So now that we've talked about maps, I want to know a little bit about the characters. So we're going to ask you this right here. You know, tell us a little bit about the characters and who they are.
Yeah, so every year what we try to do on Assassin's Creed Multiplayer, we have a new time of history. A new story to tell, so we create a brand new cast of characters based on it, and of course with the pirate setting, it was an amazing opportunity for our characters team to create new characters. So we're gonna look at some of them on the screen.
Okay. So we'll pull those up. You can tell us who they are as we go.
Exactly.
Yes. So like Lady Black, for example.
Yeah. They all have their own personality, outfit, but also assassination style. So we see Lady Black, she's all about like the dual pistols. She looks very piratey. She's already one of the players' favorite characters.
We can look at the Puppeteer or the Rebel, so the other female characters.
We have a strong cast and more females than last year actually. The Puppeteer is more about close range kills, and she has great animations. She's my personal favorite, as far as I'm concerned. But we also have like the Mercenary, who's a very strong, badass character. He's also about pistols a lot. We have the Duelist, who's an expert swordsman, and he has a
he's a
killer
Spanish
mustache.
guy. Yeah, he's a Spanish guy.
So that's honestly probably my favorite cast of all the AC multiplayer games we've had.
One of my favorite things too at PAX is seeing people dress up at the, as characters that you guys have already released for the public to see, and seeing them live at an event dressed up in the time that they take to put, the exact thing that they see in these images into a costume for cosplaying. So
each time we cross that, we just take a picture and send it to the team, And to the guys who did the characters, they love that.
Yeah, they're
because
so
it's
happy
becoming
when
real
they see.
for them. Yeah, it's amazing. We have also 2 new characters. I think we revealed last week at Gamescom.
Yes, we do.
Maybe we can look at those.
Yeah, let's take a look at those as well.
So you have the Buccaneer and
the Wayfarer.
And the Wayfarer.
So 2 male characters. The Buccaneer is like a more evolved version of a pirate. He's very strong. He's got like a beard and long hair, and he likes to drink as well. He's a pirate. And the Wayfarer is a bit different. He's more discreet. He's like he's a Templar that pretends to be coffee farmer, but in reality just kills people. And I like him as well.
That's awesome. So that sounds like a pretty big, extensive cast of characters in the game.
Yeah.
So now let's talk a little bit about, just the multiplayer in general.
Yeah.
What did you guys add to this, from previous Assassin's multiplayers? What makes this the best one to date?
We've added so much things. Of course you have the new consoles, so the next generation consoles. So that let us add new content about that, and we've added some new big key features like the Games Lab that lets you create your own mode. The new Wolf Pack, that is a very big thing this year, and of course we're also doing a ton of core improvements, more for the fans and the core community. So answering their requests, so a ton of things in the end.
I know we have a video to kind of go over the scoring system.
Yeah, so the scoring system is one of the big rework we've done on the multiplayer this year. All of our game is working around the scoring. So in our game, it's not the number of kills that you do that matters, but it's really how you execute people and how stealthy you are and how good is your approach, or if you're doing acrobatic kills or acrobatic actions. So one of the things we've done this year is that we introduced a new multiplier system, and this is adding a new depth to the scoring system. So now not only your approach matters, but also what is your state and in what kind of situations you are. So here, for example, what the player will do is that he will put himself in a grabbing position. And as you saw, he's just grabbed his target. And when you grab your target, it's multiplying your kill score by 3, which is huge.
It's the biggest multiplier you can get.
Yeah, it's the biggest multiplier you can have. And it's really turning your position. You could be 8, and just with 1 can become first because you do a very good kill. So here he has killed in a hidden position, so he's multiplying his score by 2. And these are only a few of the examples of the things you can do with this new multiplier system.
So I know there's a lot of things that are new to the game. So how does that go into player feedback? Listening to the community. I mean, how much of that actually matters?
It's very key for us. So we're really doing things based on what we have as feedback. So for example, we've worked a lot on the animations variety for the silent kills on this year. Also, one of the things we've did is and we speak about it, is the Game Lab. The Game Lab is really a tool that lets the community create their own mode, and it's a way to answer to them, to just let them create the experience they want.
That's awesome. And I know that this is going to be coming out on next-gen consoles. So being able to develop for next-gen, the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, how does that change it for a game like this?
It's the beginning. It's really the beginning today, so we're learning the platforms and everything, but already we have a huge graphical jump compared to last year. It lets us create a new engine, so we have a new engine in the multiplayer this year around, so the game is really beautiful on next-gen consoles. For example, our characters, the number of polygons are multiplied by 2 and things like that. We have a new rendering system. So graphically it's huge, and also we have new features dedicated for the next-gen platforms.
That's awesome. I'm just so excited for this game, you don't even know. So I know you talked a little bit about the Game Lab. Yeah. So can you just kind of break it down? Because I know this is something that, me as a player from some of the past games that I'm so excited to have.
Yeah, so one of the big things we wanted to do this year is just give power to the players and let them do things. And one of the answer to that is the Game Lab. So the Game Lab, it's basically a tool that lets you create your own mode, and you have a ton of things you can do with it.
So now will they be able to take that mode and play with friends? How does that work?
Yeah, so when you create a mode, you can play it privately with friends, but also the best modes, us as developer will try to find the best modes created by the community and push them to everyone. So and in the end, the idea is really to have different modes, maybe every week or every 2 weeks to be determined, but so that you have plenty new content regularly on the game created by the community.
And having user-generated content is huge. I mean, giving
Yeah,
that
so-
to the player to be able to put that
it's
into their own
huge.
hands.
They have more than 200 parameters, something like that, to create their own mode. Also, the fact that you can mess around with the scoring system. You know, we're speaking about the scoring system and how key it is to our experience. The fact that you can change everything and change the multiplier, change the values, and change basically what is the objective of the mod. So you're really changing the experience of the game. It's something you don't see in other UGCs, in other games. And because you can change the scoring, you can really change basically how people need to play the game. And it's one of the things we're showcasing with Pistoleer mode for the tournaments, that we base a whole mode around the Pistoleer ability, which is really neat in the multiplayer.
So let's go into that a little bit. So what our players are playing today. So we'll ask you, I know that this is a mode that you guys created using Game Labs. So can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, we first introduced it at E3 this year, and I feel like it's really a very good example of how far you can get with the Game Lab, and how you can change the experience and tailor it to the kind of game modes you want to play. So when you think about it, it's basically an Assassin's Creed multiplayer mode with no assassinations, because it's gun only. We have a pirate game, so we thought, okay, let's go and do something based only on the gun. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's my favorite. It might be because I'm better at that than other modes, I have to say.
Usually that's your favorite, the one you're best at.
Exactly, so I'm kind of biased. But yeah, you can only kill using the gun. So as you guys have been able to see earlier when we showed some of the tournament on it, you need to find your target, take it down using the gun, but you also have a set of defensive abilities. You have the Animus Shield to protect yourself from your target. You have the Disguise to fool your pursuer. So it's not only the gun, but it's like a whole experience, and it's balanced between attack and defense. And I feel that's why I like it, because it's very deep and very fun at the same time.
So it changes the playstyle, which I love too, because, you know, challenge friends, make your own mode, and be like, I know you're really good at this mode, but come try my mode. I want to see how you do with that. So we only have a couple minutes left, so let's talk a little bit about Wolfpack for the time that we do have.
Yeah, so it's one of the big other feature of the game this year. So we introduced Wolfpack last year on AC3. The idea was to build a mode around cooperation and not against adversarial competition. So it's a more where you have to, where basically you're fighting against the AIs and the machine. It's a very unique mode. It's time limited. It's also playing on the balance of taking your time to do good kills, but also because it's time limited, you need to rush, and so you need to find the right balance. It worked really well on AC3. We had tremendous feedback on it, and it's coming back this year, but big.
So I want to thank you both so much for sitting down, giving us exclusive. We got exclusive maps. You guys haven't seen those before. And if you're just joining, you didn't get to see those, we'll have the VODs up later so you can go back and watch them. I want to thank you both, and stay tuned, because tomorrow, you guys, I hear you're going to give us some more exclusive, yes?
Yes.
You promise?
Indeed.
You promise?
I totally promise.
Okay, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Tomorrow, we'll be talking to both of these gentlemen again for exclusive content. What we're going to be doing next, we're going to be going into round 3 of our tournament. You guys will actually be able to see the multiplayer action in place for the Pistoleer mode. So before we do that, we're going to take it to a quick commercial break, but stay tuned.